What intrigues me about objects is their form initially, and then I get interested in how they were made and how they function later on as a sculptural piece. I don't generally think about what the pieces were once used for as much as some people may read into it. A lot of my work is very site-specific, so I tend to do work about the space where the pieces go, whether it's furniture or sculpture, and the viewers that are going to see the work. So the subject enters into it. At the museum industry, that work is very much about old industrial relics of Baltimore and Baltimore industry. I collected about 18 different artifacts, and there were these huge objects that totaled about 90 tons altogether. And then sort of fastened them together and came up with a sculpture, which is this toy-like object that looks like it did something once, but it's really made of all these disparate parts. And it looks like it's kind of dysfunctional now. Whereas my newer work is more about maybe form and less about subject. One of my childhood memories has always stuck with me in sculpture is of Wile E. Coyote with a big rock on the top of the cliff. And I love that tension of what's going to happen when the thing finally gets going and comes off the cliff. I think there is an illusion in the man-made world that we live in that it's very substantial. Recently, I'd say in the last probably 7 or 8 years, I've been really using a lot of spheres, a lot of circles, discs. I love that with the sphere, it looks like a wheel, it looks like something that you're familiar with moving, and then to see it static, it really, maybe it could go at some point. My thought there was really to create a form that looked like a puzzle, like someone had disassembled these different parts from a game or from a big machinery. Maybe they were the bearings out of a motor. There's a certain playfulness or dangerousness that you can move them around and it looks like it's going to get going and you might not be able to stop it. But you're also intrigued by their kind of monumentality of the fact that they can't be moved. And then they still have a sculptural identity. I like that tension that it gives the work, that it doesn't feel finished or maybe it doesn't feel static. And there's an apprehensiveness about seeing something high up on a building. It's up high and it seems like it's going to roll somewhere, even though it can't because it's bolted in. I really do like kinetic sculpture that does move, and I've never really done that with my work because I find that there's a certain monumentality to the potential of movement, and you've taken away some of the apprehension once it's moved. I think a reaction is what I hope to get. I don't necessarily hope to have people like the work or love it or hate it. But I think that part of why I create pieces that look like they have this tension of movement or potential movement in them is I want people to sense that it's not that permanent, that things could change. I think that if you can challenge anyone to look at your art form, whether it's dance or filmmaking or sculpture, and challenge them to think about their own life and their own issues that they bring to bear every day, then you've sort of communicated a little bit.